Hey guys, how are you doing? By the way, I can't take any more questions. I am way full up. So I had to reschedule my live for a little later. Um, just crazy busy. I have to catch up with you guys on some issues that happened with my cat after having Bear see a groomer. Um, so she might end up having a limp for life and I've it's been very difficult lately, so I've been kind of busy dealing with that. But hi, Misty. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. um I'm trying to level out this green screen, but it's kind of just not wanting to comply right yet, so oh well. Nothing in this life on earth is perfect, or maybe it's perfectly imperfect. We got, you know, what can I say? So I've taken as many questions. I've kind of gone over a little bit. But Lori, Christine, you are the last one that I'll read on, and then I'm gonna do Gina's, where I pull a card for everyone and everyone you tuning in for the week. So let me just see. I was rooting around through. We've got we're shifting things around my house as well. So we've got like boxes of stuff here and there. But I found some of my cards since shifting me from the bedroom to the no, yeah, from the bedroom to the living room because of my health issues. Uh, but I found my one of my Lenormand decks, and it's the lustrous Lenormand, and it's really poppy, bright. So, I'll try and use it today. We'll see if it comes up. And I found another one, but I have just been trying to help Bear and get all the stuff from the vet and contact this um, place, this grooming place. By the way, let me just tell you, if you have a cat, don't ever hire a mobile groomer. You are taking your cat's good health in their hands. A lot of times, these people, I don't think, really know what's best. Um, it's better to go to somebody that really specializes only in cats. And it's kind of sad to find this out the hard way, but anyway, I will go into that another day, just to an FYI for people once I've got it all nailed down. So let me just make sure that we are cool on, and yep, got it. And let me know if there's any issues with camera or sound. They put a bunch of new stuff on, StreamYard. I call it ScreamYard now. And YouTube's been doing some different things, and it does make things sometimes a little wonky. But they've added some really cool things. Uh, but sometimes I notice that when they do that, it can make other things act up. So we'll just play it by ear. And my hair's still wet from the shower. You got me fresh, really fresh. So I'm just going to start to shuffle my cards and bring myself into place to read for you. Oh, Artist Liz says, I saw a picture of you and your husband. He's a cutie. Shh, don't tell him. I think so. I think so. And he's the one that takes care of my putting on my new bandages and stuff. So he's a great husband, and I'm lucky to have him. Let me tell you. The sound is low. It shouldn't be. I've got this cranked up, and I'd say check. Has anyone else got a problem with sound? Because I've got this cranked up, my gain is up, I can only say if you're having issues with sound, you might want to check your own thing because I've got this at 100 and it is loud. Yeah, she'll be okay, Lori. Thank you. She's just, got a limp, and we just hope that her patella isn't broken, which is part of the knee. Thank you, Beverly. If you have trouble with sound and you have like a laptop or something like I do, I highly recommend getting headphones because many times the speaker that is alone built into the laptop, they're not that great. In fact, I myself have one that I clip onto the side as an external one for when I get tired of wearing headphones. Oh, it could be your phone. It could be, but you know what? You can, if you got that plug in, grab some headphones, Lori, and try um putting those in. All right. Cherry Blossom, I'm gonna allow you to ask one question, but then that's it because like I'm way over. Make it brief. Okay. All right. Yes, it is best, Beverly. Yeah, Bluetooth, any kind of quality headphones. Like these are comfortable. See, they got all that padding. And yeah, exactly. And I've got the gain on I've got kind of a special mic. It's a Yeti mic. So just crank it up. And I've got the gain turned up too. But that's just a little something, unfortunately, that happens even when you purchase a laptop. It's like, dang, I just can't, So I highly recommend getting a USB. Um, Many people have already done this, but a little external speaker that you can just plug right into your USB port and hear much better, especially as we get older. My hearing is definitely not too many rock concerts, really and truly, and too much listening probably to loud music, honestly. Um, I'm just getting comfy here. First day we've had sun in a long time at the coast here near San Francisco. Oh, get out of here, moth. Um, we have had one of the dampest, cloudiest, coldest since 1982, and I believe it. My body has been so just once you hit about 35, maybe a little older, you start feeling it. And I had to use the calculator yesterday to figure out how old I was. I've had to do this more than once. And I know I'm not the only one. I thought I was 58. I'm 57. Wild. Well, at least, I aired on the side. I was like a happy thing. It was like, I'm a year younger than I thought I was. All right. Isn't that nuts? So, anyway, just kind of chit chat to warm up and tune in. And I'm so glad to see DE Warrior Witch back with her question. I had read for her and I did not get sometimes I'm not always on point, I'm the human body, and it's not an excuse. The density of the human body it's like a filter. And I'd say mine's probably pretty dense, unfortunately. But you just don't always, you just can't always tune in. And that's one of the reasons why I try and take a limited amount of questions because I never know how great I'm going to be toward the end of the live, to be honest. I might be fine, I may not. So just always, no matter who you're listening to, they're a human being. Um, Many people, if you have an 80% rate of accuracy, that's great. And this is entertainment. Take it always with a grain of salt. I'm going to go ahead and get us on into the first question. for DE Warrior Witch. And she has been unemployed, and this is a problem. So let's all, number one, lift everyone's concerns up, whatever your concerns are in your heart, in your mind at this time. And I know a lot of us are going through a lot of stress, me with my cat and my family, and you guys with yours. So let's just lift everyone up with their financial, their health, their concerns, family, all of that, and just ask the divine to bless and open us up to receive those blessings. Because many times we are so, you know, focused in on them that we kind of, again, that density, we kind of don't realize we got tunnel vision. Well, maybe it's just me, but I don't think so. I know other people do it too. Okay, so let's just take a look here for DE Warrior Witch, and let's just ask what job, if I, because I saw a job for you. I thought it was really clear. Now, sometimes the timing thing, and this isn't a cop out, you'll hear great readers like Linda Grendel, one of our YouTube favorite readers, tell you that, you know, timing is difficult. But I did see a job for you. So I still feel like even though it may not have been the job that you wanted, I still feel like there's one out there for you. So don't get down in the dumps. And boy, let me make sure I got this all the way turned up. There's all kinds of motorcycles out there today because the sun's out and it's Sunday. I'm turning up my gain even more. All right. Sometimes if I turn up the gain too much, though, then it doesn't sound good. It can be too much. Like that sounds like you can hear the traffic now. I don't want you to have to hear the traffic. We got to find the sweet spot. All right. So, DE Warrior Witch, you got a job coming to you. Let's take a look and see. Is there a job on the horizon for you? DE Warrior Witch. Is there a job yet on the horizon for you? I'm going to ask, like, it kind of break it into two little pieces. Like, is there a job for you? And then I'm going to say within, uh, let's say 4 to 6 months window time, I'm going to ask of it if it looks like it would be in that window. I'm going to try and break it apart and see how it looks, see how it goes. And we'll just keep reading on this, God darn it, until we see you getting the job. Keep coming back. Appreciate you coming back. Let's take another look. Is there a job? Is there a job, Holy Spirit? Help me to access the truth that's we all need to remember. And since we live by this weird measurement of time on this planet, is there a job on her horizon, DE Warrior Witch? She's about had enough of this. She would like to get to work. Is there a job worth her while? Maybe that's, that she will take is, oh my goodness, out there. Sounds like a hog, like a Harley. It's very loud. I've got Highway 1. And it's just, like I said, it's an unusual sunny day. Everybody's outside trying to get some vitamin D. All right. Well, I see the conflict and the competition with the Five of Wands, straight up. Conflictual issues many times where you probably got other people vying for the job or there's competition. There can be other conflictual things, sometimes within ourselves or within situations around us. Let's see what it's paired with. Moving on or abandonment. Um, Now, this can be needing, sometimes when this card comes up, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it means that we need to literally, uh, and it can be tough, leave something behind and let it go and actually physically move sometimes with that card, maybe to a, or look in a different environment. There might be issues when I see these two cards together and we're talking about work. I'm thinking maybe try different areas because there might be a high level of competition for that job or these jobs. So maybe try various different places, and you probably are, but around. I feel like we're being shown, let's look at it again, that looking outside of where you would usually look or think would be the best is going to be necessary because there's just too much conflict here. So there needs to be a solution with that. Let's see what else we get. Okay. I gotta get another sip of coffee, guys. I have been up since probably about 4:30. You know, when you're having to spend more time in bed because of a health issue, it you're healing as well, so that gets all kind of on its own cycle. You know what? I do see work though. Now we have the wonderful Queen of Pentacles, all about the coins, job, work, manifestation, the material world, and we have completion. We have some kind of a completion. So there is something that completes and comes to a completion. There is success. Um, this looks very good to me where getting a job is concerned. But I do think that it's because you have to, again, move or go further out of where you've been looking. There's just something about that DE Warrior Witch of elsewhere maybe being one where you're going to hook it because it looks like where the place is, and it looks like you could probably with this Eight of Cups that you're leaving behind or would have to turn your back on, these may have been places, a number of different places that you've tried putting in applications, and it's not for want of trying, you know, but it's that there's other issues that get in the way of your landing those jobs. And again, it can be just you've got more competition. And I just can't help but repeat myself and say, I think you're going to need to look outside the comfort zone, further outside, maybe like, unfortunately, for a commute. But I do think there is a place there with the Queen of Pentacles. I do think there is a job there with that, those two cards. Yes, 10 of Cups, and that's kind of the family connection and the lovers. So this is, to me, this could be like a contract, an agreement, um, and fulfillment. But I'm going to say that I think that you definitely, and please keep me in the loop, need to keep trying further out, a different where than you have thrown your fishing hook, so to speak, for a job. Because I do see you getting one. It is on the horizon. You've got really positive, strong cards there with the lovers and the 10 of Cups, and it feels very supportive, like family. So I would say, if you don't end up going to a place where you have supportive friends that are like family or family, I should look at the live. I get lost in my chit chat. Um, I think that there's just another supportive location, and I think there's an agreement. I don't know if you're with someone. I tend to think this is more about the job and an agreement and being really happy. And it just feels like there's movement with this world and that Eight of Cups where you got to go and leave behind where you've looked previously or places that you've thought to look for a job. Okay? All right. Yes. It would be with a group of people and maybe people training you. This is a small group of people working together. There's actual blueprint there. Where is the blueprint? Sorry. Right there in their hand. And I do see some issues here where it just feels at times, I think, unfair, where other people have an inroad and you're losing out to them for the work, perhaps, because that's the Five of Swords. And it is dealing with the card where we're talking about working with other people. Maybe it's showing us this because it's showing us like you've gone through the mill with the Nine of Wands, dealing with having to keep your own boundaries, defend yourself, stick up for yourself, and there's decline. You know, it's tough, and it starts to make you feel you've got two fives there. It starts to make you feel kind of beaten up. I can only imagine. Okay. But there's clarity coming with the Ace of Swords. All right. And there is healing, uh, but there's a lot of pain here too with this Three of Swords. We got the three early. I can't help but think maybe you've worked in a place maybe where there wasn't such harmony. You know, some unfortunately we see that with a lot of people where they work, where the business politics, what have you, um, don't always pan out. But I see clarity is going to come where there's been some sort of betrayal or uh, conflict with work. And I feel like other people, you know, not being the best coworkers or something. I don't know what that is. There's clarity, and we do have judgment. And it's about also working the type of people, making sure you're working with people that are on more on along your wavelength. If you notice that this kind of job is going to have people that are maybe too straight laced, so to speak, too uptight with this conservative card of the Hierophant, you know, you might want to look at vibing out with the people that, if, as best you can, that you come across. What else? This could also be some sort of additional training, because many times the Hierophant can be where you're being instructed. You know, you can see the monks down here with the Pope, and there's a new understanding, and there's a change in understanding. There's a leveling up. There's clarity where you've had trouble in the past or something along those lines, where there's been a sense of betrayal or separation. Perhaps even the thing of uh, when what's that? When you get laid off, that kind of thing. The Three of Swords can be that kind of card. Yeah, here's the work card, working hard, and this is a new skill. This is perfecting something, doing it over and over again, just like how we learn to ride a bicycle and these kinds of things, that the more we do it, the better we get at it. And that's another energy feeling of like you're going to be trained in something. Um, and I do see work, the Knight of Pentacles. It might be more of a mundane job, so to speak, but it's steady. So I do see some sort of steady work eventually, but it looks like it's challenging and you've like tell you something you don't know, and you're going to need to look further away in different places than you probably initially want to. Okay, DE Warrior Witch, keep us in the loop. All right, let me just take a look at the live chit chat here. Ash is in the house, eh? And Jackie B, Beverly, and Cherry Blossom. Okay, yeah, I was gonna grab yours, got it. And let's see. All right. Looks like we're all right. I like to roll back and just make sure we're all good. All right. All right. So I shall continue to the next question. I have been avoiding politics, but I do watch the headlines because we've known if you've watched my readings, and no doubt many other readers are seeing it too, and we have been for a long time, that you know, Trump's going to get in trouble. There's all kinds of chaos, just like what we're seeing. We saw that information would get leaked. He's going to be sweating it out. And, this is kind of the beginning of the crumbling, real, sincere, more serious crumbling and undermining of his power. We just got to kind of be patient and let, get through it. Okay. And I'll be doing more political readings as well. It's just I have to take a break from time to time because it's so toxic, folks. Ugh, it is so toxic. And I honestly was thinking about these people are so incredibly toxic. I think that some of us, much like myself, who feel like with their disability and limitations that we have, that it's like, what good can I do to really affect what is happening? But simply by being a decent human being at this time, on earth is what you can do. And it's mighty more powerful than any of us probably would think. So truly, just work on shining that good light, opening the door for somebody, a little thoughtfulness, you know, giving someone a smile or a helping hand is meaning. I've got a lie. Please don't. Okay? Yeah, that's not a problem. I just don't want you walking out here. That really doesn't matter. Sorry, you guys, that's my daughter and her hi Jakari and her friend Jakari. All right. So let's go to the next one. Sandy. Neighbor not talking because, oh boy, I hate that kind of stuff. We have this kind of thing here. Parking is a big deal, especially when you live on little roads and stuff. Neighbor not talking because my visitor had to park at his drive because carers at his home had blocked access to my drive. Oh, what a snafu here. Why does he feel it's not okay to block his entrance, but okay to block others? Well, that's a good question. Let's take a look here. One thing I would just right off the bat, Sandy, medically, I would wonder, does this guy get enough oxygen? And I'm not trying to be cute, but sometimes if somebody's got health issues, they can be not always the most, sometimes lacking mental clarity. Let's be nice and say that. Okay. Um, so I'm wondering if are there issues of dementia? How old are they? Just to think about what their logic. But let me just try and focus on this. Why does he not see the hypocrisy in this? I'm so sorry. What a pain in the butt. You know? And I've just come to realize, and I think a lot of us have, that some people you will never get through to. Some people have got a mind that just snaps shut. and is unwilling to hear and take in what others are willing to say. If it's not what they want to hear. Nobody wants to hear stuff they don't, that isn't, but sometimes we need to be put on our grown up pants, and hear. Hey, Aki, thanks for joining me. All right, so let's see if we can kind of get a bird's eye lowdown, as they say, where I initially was born in Missouri. Bird's eye lowdown on why this fellow, this neighbor, doesn't have the light bulb going off with the parking issue. And why does he expect, the old thing of you need to treat others how you want to be treated? So let's just see what Spirit recommends. I'll do the cards when I get in a jam with that, and I think, because I have like ADD and stuff, and I've got to settle myself down, and sometimes I just have to turn it over and say, okay, Holy Spirit, help me out here, or the divine, all of y'all, help me to see how I should approach this. And I recommend doing that if you can read your cards, because you can truthfully save yourself a lot of bother. So let's see. How should Sandy deal with this or not? What is information that would be helpful to Sandy regarding her neighbor's behavior? Why does he not see that this is rude and expectatious? Ah, goodness. All right, let me get my pillow behind my back. I've got like a billion gazillion pillows here nearly, all different sizes. Here we've got the bully card, because maybe he's entitled. Maybe he's got entitled entitled human syndrome. Doesn't really care if it is an inconvenience or a problem for someone else. He takes what he wants. That's the vibe there. No worry, DE Warrior Witch. I do get good cards for you. Did your reading already? Because you're one of the first ones. But you got it coming, but you're going to have to look further out. You'll see. You'll see and hear it. All right. Oh, the tower. So these two are paired together. This is an unexpected event, such as the blocking of the driveways. Now, hold on, because this could be more nonsense coming down the pike, if you will, as well, where reality might be a shocker for some people. People like himself. No problem. No problem, DE Warrior Witch. It looks good, but it's taken an effort. Here we have, I think there's a lack of sleep with this man. Or I should say neighbor, because I don't know, how they identify. So I'm seeing, don't want that to fall. That's my mouse. It always wants to do that. I'm seeing a lack of sleep as a potential lethargy. Again, I want to say, does he get oxygen? I'm not trying to be cute. I keep getting a sense, and I batted it away because I always do this with myself. I don't know whether what I'm picking up is sometimes just me or if I'm actually getting on something. But I feel like he needs oxygen at night, much like many members of my family do, so that he's getting oxygenated. You know what I'm talking about, the CPAP machine, CPAC, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm feeling that. And yet there's constricted. I feel like constricted airway and movement. So I'm feeling issues with, okay, like circulation, the blood carrying the oxygen to the brain. It's not an excuse, but I just don't think he has the same kind of clarity. There may have been a stroke with this tower issue as well. Um, I wonder if something happened and changed also part of his personality. That can happen sometimes with people, but I'm not sure. All right. Could you please hold the door when you go to shut it? It's all right. Sometimes just with all the windows open, it slams hard. I love you too. Here we have the emperor, which could either be authorities, hopefully not, or him. And it's an older man, so this could be him. What else are we getting with him? I'm getting the Seven of Pentacles. This could be authorities. Do he have to sometimes contact authorities? There might be something where there's a plan or something may end up kind of ratcheting up where you might contact. There is an approach, all right, here. So, like, this is maybe going to the door to talk with them, find out more, or maybe through a mail, finding out more. Maybe he would respond better to that. There's a defensiveness to even this gentle offer. I think this man is hyper defensive. I don't think he has great circulation or oxygenation. I don't think he gets proper rest. He may or may not use one of those machines at night, but I think poor quality of sleep could also create issues. There's mental issues. Hate to say that, but I think as well. And that kind of comes up here too with the strike to the crown and the mean behavior here. And I think it stem from at night not getting enough rest. There's some kind of physical limitation. And then, you're going to retain fluid. I know because like as someone who is mobily challenged, which I hate using that politically correct word in a way because it sounds so pretentious, but I'm paralyzed, so I'm a paraplegic. Um, what can happen is you can get a lot of swelling and lots of other medical issues that kind of, as you know, domino effect. And I think he's kind of got that going on. I don't think he's got all his dogs barking, so to speak. I think he's got issues. I think that if you make an approach, maybe do so with a male. Could be a male authority figure. Now, that could be uh, a male that's, you know, if you have to call law enforcement because he's being too obstinate or whatever, hopefully not. I tend to think probably not. This might just be like a male friend or family member that would be older to talk to him. I just feel like maybe that's the approach towards him, but I still feel like he is very much on the defense. Like he has a hard time opening up to receive. He's overly, you know, all concerned about himself, and I don't know that he's capable, uh, physically of thinking clearly enough. Like I said, yeah. With the nine, there is something with the mind, the head. I feel like again, there's some psychological and biological issues going on, and hyper defensive about boundaries also, because we've got that with the Nine of Wands here, the boundaries, the driveways. He's not thinking, he's not capable of thinking clearly. And that's a shame because, like, you want to try and harmonize, you know, with the Two of Cups and be friends. But this is, you having to definitely also defend your boundary line. Don't let him get away with nonsense. Okay, Sandy? Don't let someone get away with doing that to you. And anyone else, when we hear these readings for someone else and we're listening in, listen in, because sometimes that can be something that's going to mean something to us later, you know? Yeah, there's a lack of self regulation. And this is the era of people that don't know how to self regulate, adults that don't know how to adult a little bit more, being less selfish. It's like, where are the grown-ups in the room? You know, look for the grown-ups in the room. Where's Waldo? And this is managing that kind of raw emotion with the lion that would just take someone's head off normally. You try to be sensible, reach out, da da da, and this is also within yourself and sometimes with also dealing with other people that are just extremely hostile and aggressive, knowing how to deal with them. So this, what I'm getting is, it's going to be important for you to point out some of these differences and say to him, well, just as your driveway is important to you, ours is important to us. And I don't know about where you're at, but it's illegal to block. Um, yes, yes, Aki. Yeah, not very pleasant. There's got to be an understanding, even if he grumbles and doesn't like it, that he doesn't jerk you around, that he doesn't think that he can keep overstepping and overdoing this, and approach him gently. uh maybe have a male do it. I think, yeah, there's a King of Cups. Let me just see what's coming up with him. And a Hermit. This is I'm getting also this is elderly male energy. Probably, except for the carers, I would say pretty much alone a lot. And some people do alone better than others. And many times people that are hostile, as they get ill and lack oxygenation, um, end up keeping people, that people don't want to be around them. They end up lonely. And I'm going to say there's a sensitive, actually, he's a very deeply sensitive person. Of course he is for himself. But he's very, the feeling here with this hermit is that he's got tunnel vision, and he doesn't see the bigger picture the way he should. I think, once again, I think there are mental, emotional, spiritual issues with this person and biological issues that are doing him no favors. But I think the important thing is to know that and then figure out how to deal with him accordingly, and maybe talk to his caregivers, okay? um and ask them to work with him. And you can always bring up the fact that like, it's illegal, like here where I live in California, to block anyone's driveway. And I know I have to deal with it all the time because there's a school near me, and we get people with this tiny road one way, it's just a two-lane road and it gets all, so it's a nightmare. So you have got my empathy. Let's just, let me just check here too. Like how should she deal with this man? Standing her ground is important and defending your boundary line, literally and figuratively. Don't let people run over the top of you, even if you're not doing them any favors, even if they are not well, because they give them an inch, they take a mile. And Gail Holwell is saying, I'm wondering, does he even know if his carers blocked your driveway? That's what I'm thinking too. Can he see? I'm thinking with that tunnel vision card when I saw the way the hermit, and this many times is what happens with me with the cards, the way the hermit's holding the lantern up, I got the sense of darkness around does he have like glaucoma? Could there be some kind of darkness around his periphery? There could be other issues like that. And so there's more, probably layers of health issues at play here for his responses. And just, I say, talk to the caregivers, you know, do so from a place of love as much as possible, and let them know your concern and sense of frustration, but ask them if they can help you a little bit. They probably get to deal with him on a whole nother level. Let's just see. How should she deal with this man? Two cards, because I need to keep moving. It's going to be a long life. Ooh, it's warm here today. I might have to take off the long sleeve t-shirt here and just sit in the short sleeve t-shirt, because that's how it is in Northern California. And then you get cold. All right. And if you're just tuning in, please do give me a thumbs up if you appreciate readings like this. And if you've watched any of my other readings or you like the vibe or whatever, I would appreciate it. Thanks. All right. So let's see. Okay. Well, this deals with somebody that's pretty old school. All right. And that doesn't surprise me. Old fashioned, kind of conservative. All right. Might be religious. Ooh, may have left it, may have walked away from it. Hmm. Also might be a know-it-all. Oh. This might be also a way of saying outside of being polite and basically, you might have to kind of keep him at arm's length to a certain degree. Because I think you're going to be somewhat limited as to what you can do. There's more things going on that you're not aware of with the high priestess. There's some secrets there. There's things that are not apparent on the surface. More going on than meets the eye. And it does deal with his self-control. So I think just keep that in mind. I don't know how much longer he has, to be honest. The energy's pretty toxic, and the lack of resting properly, the sense of constriction, you know, it doesn't feel healthy. Yeah, his safety, I again, and your own safety. Keep, you know, keeping your boundaries and his, making sure that he doesn't, oh, get away with that. Here's the home. Here's the family home, the residence, and we got the tower. There is unanticipated issues that I think could continue now, or a few more that might flare up with him. And just know that he's got issues with control because he doesn't feel like he's in control of his, the health, all of that. And he's, I would say, as many times as often, a very scared man that doesn't have all his faculties, despite how it might look. With the high priestess card, there's things beneath the surface that you're not aware of, where his self-control, um, like he would actively need someone to help him de-escalate. So I would say going through his carers and others would be good. Um, that's what I would do. I There's an expansion of energy with the Three of Wands in the future, something coming up. Again, it has to do with his freedom, his lack of ability, his lack of mobility. I think there's going to be more issues with that yet, but I think that you can get others to help you with this. Let me see what else I get, because that tower card's not a lot of fun. That's the what the hell is going on here? This is arguing and fighting and hostility with the Five of Swords, Wands, I'm sorry, and being watchful and keeping an eye. I don't know, maybe because he doesn't have others in his life and other things going on, is he just kind of obsessing about it? Keeping a watch on him. And it could be where, if it gets too nutty, you might have to contact authorities. And that might be the only way that he's going to perhaps cool it. We do get justice, all right? And it's paired with the past. They might know him. They've probably dealt with him. And past behavior. Yes, and getting help. You might need help to deal with his behavior, because I do think he has health issues and mental health struggles, and he might need someone to help him understand his own behavior. And I see that with the help card, you do get the card of recognition and success. So I don't think you're quite done dealing with the problematic behavior. I think there's a couple other blow ups because he has problems with self regulation. And I would go through medical authorities, people that deal with him, because he's got some deep issues going on there. Okay. All right. And I do think that, like I said, more than one issue going on. So I would go through his carers and, if need be, authorities to speak to him about that. And that might help him to open his eyes. Whew. All right, Jackie, what blessings are coming to me from the divine? Well, open up. A lot of us need to realize that a lot of times we need to drop stuff we're holding on to so that we can open up and trust and just kind of accept. Some of us don't think we're worthy of it. And it's time to rethink that. Let's see, what deck should I use? Well, this was one that I picked up that I haven't used in a while. and it's called Clarity Oracle, and I got it off of Etsy. So let's see what we get from it. Let's try it out. And if this one doesn't sing for us, then we'll try a different deck. All right. All right. So if you're looking for a speed reader, that ain't me. Um, I have to kind of go over things. It's just my nature. I know some people just and just letting people that maybe don't normally watch me, letting them know that I go at a more relaxed pace because I can, I'm not, I need to be relaxed. All right. What blessings coming to Jackie B. Hey, Spirit, can you assist us to be aware? Well, for Jackie, at least to be aware of what blessings you are sending, you are offering, you are extending, what is coming her way that she should be aware of that is a, a booster, a blessing, a gift. We get them all the time. The parking spot at the right moment, the bathroom right when you think you're going to pee your pants, you know. But what is coming Jackie's way? What blessings, Holy Spirit, divine, ancestors bring? Well, it's saying something about not being a doormat, all right, and naivete, you be formidable. Don't be don't be too soft. This is cotton candy, by the way, and she's got a cute little heel that she's given that a kick. It's like, don't take advantage of me. So I would say this is knowing your worth and knowing that you won't settle for less or someone or anyone, anything that treats you less. Knowing your worth, being aware of that, and there's something else I was getting from that just a moment ago. Maybe I'll come back. Okay. Clean eats, modifying diet, healthy lifestyle choices. This is a blessing of like maybe craving more healthy foods, nurturing the body, and not being a doormat, not allowing others to exploit you, to take advantage of you, to have you be second best. If you're not the first choice, then forget it. Those friends, those so-called friends that they call you only when they can't get hold of anyone else. I don't have those folks in my life anymore, but I remember them. So clean eats, doormat, bullheaded. Okay, now there's a little bit of stubbornness coming through here. Narrow-minded, difficult to sway. Could be locking horns with somebody there. And if you do, don't be the doormat. Stand your ground. And we get playa, playing the field, not looking to settle. But what did I say earlier? Don't settle for less. Seeking options. So like if you meet somebody, Jackie, and they're fun, enjoy the fun. But I would say keep your options open. Don't let anyone push you into a relationship or push you into doing something that you don't want to do. Do what's good for you, just like the Clean Eats card kind of suggests. Do what's good for you. Think of your own well being. Don't be a doormat. You've got some stubborn bones in there, I'm sure. And don't just allow people, especially because we're saying don't be a doormat and we see resistance here and be more perhaps more difficult to sway. Don't allow don't the pushover. That's the word I was looking for. And I don't really think the play a player card is a bad thing. I think it's just a card that needed to come up, and it's confirming my thing of don't settle for less. You have options, and it's knowing your worth, Jackie B. Be formidable because you're worth it. Like the Hell Kettler L'Oreal, you're worth it. Keeping tabs, creeping on the low, observing closely, staying connected. Okay. And no filter, authentic. It is what it is. Sugar free and blunt. They've got a guy enjoying a certain kind of a smoke there. I just feel like, again, you need someone that's authentic, that doesn't put on airs, that isn't going to try and control you and make you think that they're your only friend or they're your only option for whatever reason. Sometimes people like to do that. So there's like this big message here of don't settle for less. It's okay. In fact, I think they're saying, you know, stand your ground. Like I said, if somebody comes in here, let's say this is them and you're the cute black bull and they're saying, hey, we're going to do this my way, or, nobody else is going to want to blah, blah, blah. Shut the door and turn on the radio. You know, you have other options. Don't allow someone to treat you poorly. Yeah, there's somebody that's trying to act, like this, savage, ruthless, they inconsiderate. If there's someone again that's don't put up with it, Jackie. Again, the thing about a filter, somebody that is, it's one thing to tell it like it is, and it's another thing just to be a jerk. Um, Again, something not as it seems, sugarcoating the truth and altering appearances. To me, it's just somebody not being authentic and trying to, I think, play up to get from you what they want and manipulate. Don't fall for it. This person is not authentic. And it could be with online dating and, online interactions with people, meeting new people. It could be through that. Keep your mind open on that. Especially people that are just in it to look for an intimate encounter. I can't. This deck is a bit okay. It's a bit too blunt. But I think that's pretty much the message here is value yourself. Don't let somebody else use you in any kind of way, no matter how hard I see somebody that it seems like really wants to get something out of you that they want. And I feel like that's on the horizon. I do. And you'll know if that manifests to stand up for yourself, because I think this kind of person will almost make you feel guilty for not, doing the way they want. But it's best to hightail it. There's something with this person that's not honest, not authentic. I think they're the user, and you don't need to settle for them. So you might think they might present themselves. You know how some people present themselves as really confident, and then you get it to know them 3 months later, because it takes a while to get to see all sides of people, especially if you don't necessarily get to see each other too much. And it takes that time. And then you find out that's just kind of a bluff, that they're, in fact, like one of my boyfriends a long time ago was desperately insecure. And it was horrible. It was a nightmare. So save yourself the bother, okay? And know that you deserve better. And don't be anyone's doormat. All right. Artist Liz is waiting on a lump sum from your pension, from your last job. And oh, yes, you've been having an issue. All right, let's see. You know what? I'm going to try that lustrous Lenormand deck. I just want to get my paws on it. I might, because it's a little different, have to. This nice booklet that came with it. So, wow, really cool. All right. These are nice and small for my small hands. Okay. Let's see what we get about this pension stuff. Right. Holy Spirit, can you please help Artist Liz to get her pension money that she has earned? Boy, I'll tell you, they're quick to demand being paid, not so fast to pay you, right? You know what I mean? Right? It's a beautiful booklet. It's really well made. It's that Marchetti. It's made by Marchetti. Ciro Marchetti and Tony Savory. Toni. So that might be female. Dazzling art and powerful divination. All right, let's see what we get about the lump sum. No problem. Might have to pin the hair back up if I start getting too warm. The pension check. Is that coming on the horizon? What does she need to do? Anything? What do we need to know about this pension check and why? When is it coming? For Artist Liz. Artist Liz. And the pension check. When is that coming? Eh, it's my clear polish is deciding to pop off now. So annoying. Probably because I took such a long shower today. Don't know why I'm telling you that. I guess it's just flow. All right, Artist Liz and the pension money. When's it coming? What's the holdup? What does she need to know about that? All right, let's see what we get. I'm getting choice with this card, and it is, what is this? The Queen of Diamonds. And I can't quite make out what that is up there. It looks like, I don't know, but it's based on choice. I'll look it up. 22. Just curious. Oh, that's funny. I turned to page 20 to 21, so it's just should be the next couple pages over here. Yeah, the core meaning is um decisions. Okay. All right. Right and wrong way. Okay, this can be about work. Then they list like work, love, health, daily advice. With work, it says careful consideration of options available to you professionally is essential. Scheduling or workload management is advised. But traditionally, it is about good and bad decisions, options, better choices, making there's choices here. Let's see. And you get the cross. This is a real pain in the butt. They're making this, suffering. Okay. Mice. That's theft. I don't like that. Usually that's theft, traditionally. And the fox. Somebody thinks that they're being clever. I think you need to call these people out on it. I don't know. Someone's being a straight up thief here, in my opinion, and making this very difficult on you. No duh, huh? Now we get the lilies and the woman. I think it's going to be a thing where you have to really come down on them, maybe even somewhat legally. You had to sue them years ago for that kind of intimate harassment. I've got the gain up so loud on my mic, and my husband's turned on the electric kettle, and it is so friggin' loud because I'm picking it up that it's almost distracting. So we see the lilies in the woman, but it just feels like this is a real pain in the butt to get to. And lilies usually does deal with uh, more wealth or well-being. I'll look that up too here in a second. Now, this is the institution itself, or protective greater institution with the tower around you, next to the woman card, and birds. I think you're going to have to apply the legal letter, maybe a letter, hate that for you, but a letter from an attorney, because they're trying to be in us. I think they're hoping that you'll just forget it. They're not making it easy for you on purpose because they're being shady, 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 shady. I want to look at lilies here with 30. Let me just take a look at that. Beautiful, beautiful deck. I love these stargazer lilies. So that is auspicious with the woman card. And it could be that there is a woman that will help you, but I do believe that you will have to go to some sort of an authority that could hold them to account with that tower card, that's bigger than them. And there might be a woman there that would help you, that she might get a ball rolling. And with the birds, that is, to me, discuss calling people, being noisy, being a squeaky wheel is what I'm kind of picking up. So the workplace is signified by the lilies card, and it usually would denote satisfaction within that. So now, if it lands near a person card, which it did, the woman card, it says that not everyone wants to be a team player. And I think they don't want to be the team player to you, because you've earned that money and you should get it. You're not the thief. They're the thief. You're the one that's got the cross to bear through the Lenormand deck. All right, so I definitely think you are probably going to have to reach out and contact another authority that can hold them to account, perhaps. Then we get the fish. Then we get the money. And that is a man. So maybe there's a male authority that would be seeing to that, or getting that somehow connected to that. Let me just pull another couple cards for my own satisfaction. There's the star. That feels a lot better, but it's like this is pulling teeth, man. And the key. Yeah, I think you're going to have to seek some counsel to get this for real and make noise and just be a pest with the birds, call, be a nuisance, and get other people to help you. And then we get the cards of I think the money coming through. Oh, the stargazer lily. Yeah, you know, get get that help, make the phone calls. I know. I know. I feel you. I felt that way here the other day when I'm looking at all the boxes and family. It's like I can't clean up after everybody every more, and you get overwhelmed, and I understand, and you get tired. But just focus on this and pick up the phone, call whoever it was that helped you initially to sue them and maybe find out a bit more of what you can do. I think that there is help there from others to get the fish, what you're owed, to get the star, and there's hope. But see, the star also, spotlight. I want to see, and key is, what is instrumental, what unlocks what unlocks the pocketbook, for them to write the check. And I'm right to that number 16. Or is that 34? Wait, no. All right, different one. But let me just see something. There is a man that's key dealing with. And as far as your health with the lilies is a time when we should seek that which we enjoy and consider overall well-being in all situations. Look after and pamper yourself. Get your money. Get those coins. You've earned them. All right, let me see here too. With the key is certain success. It's auspicious. I'm just trying to kind of work through here. It's also where work is concerned, the positive progression in the professional lives, energy. It confirms that your project will be successful. Your salary will increase. Your to-do list will be conquered. If negative cards are attending, the key will confirm the certainty of all situations. Now, the negative cards in the back, there's positive cards around the key here. But again, to me, this is, you'll get it, but you're going to have to get help to get it out of them because they just don't want to play nice. And ship, get it moving, and moon. Now let me just see the moon on this 32. I had just pulled, that's wild. I just had that page open. I thought I need to read on that. And then I thought, no, it's not there. Now I pulled the card. So this is recognition. And a job well done is rewarded. If you are seeking advancement in the workplace, your efforts will not go unnoticed. When the moon card, let's see, is far in a work theme tableau, the pedestal upon which you stand is on rocky foundation. Yeah, I think these people are shifty. And I'd say that getting this done, because they're so shady, you need more flex. All right. And action with ship. What's that? 30. Oh, no, that's 3. I'm just going to see if there's a keyword that pops out at me. Sometimes that happens. Because I haven't used the Lenormand in a while. Let's see. Very quickly. Sales, business, trade, journey. It's also like that movement of money, of profit. Yeah, they're trying to hold up sending out that money literally. Ship shows income and profitability in a financial reading. Okay. And you've got the moon next to it. So that's the rockiness, that's the uncertainty. So that just confirms yes, get someone to help you to crack them open. And they know it, and they know they're counting on you being overwhelmed. It's such a crap thing to do to someone. But I think that once you get hold of an agency that's it can put some fire to their feet, they'll get active in getting that money to you then you'll see it. Okay. Michael, you're next. And then we have Lori, Christine, Gina, and Cherry Blossom. And again, I want to thank you. And if you enjoy listening to these readings, please do give me a thumbs up if you'd be so kind. Artist Liz says, yes, they added 30 additional days to the mailing out everyone's checks. That's so poop. They're just trying to, and the cards show they know what they're doing is shady. It's deliberate. And they're going to make you have to lean on the horn, pretty much like drive up outside their house and lean on the horn and say, be the squeaky wheel and get others at some kind of an agency. It looks like a man and a woman you're going to be dealing with to get this money to you. But I think you're going to need that help. Yep, they're horrible. I don't know. Just, ugh, yuck people. We do not want. Okay. Do my guides have a message for me? Okay, Michael. Let's see. Which deck do I want to use? There was one. Yeah, I wanted to use also this cute little deck from Trish James. I'm getting a couple more of her more recent decks coming that I didn't have. One is called a Moon Oracle, and another one, a subscriber talked to me about that I didn't have. I forget what it's called, but I'm looking forward to getting it. All right, let's try this. This is an interesting one to shuffle, but I feel like this deck might be calling out for me. So, Michael's Guides. And it's nice to see you here, Michael. Thank you so much for being subscribed, and everyone that's subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it because YouTube does funny things with their subscriber numbers, as you know. They unsubscribe people. They say they don't, but they do it to me, you know? And it's like, I know I didn't unsubscribe myself from this channel. And I've had subscribers here tell me that they found that they were unsubscribed from my channel. If that ever happens, YouTube Help has told me to have the subscriber contact them. It's like I don't know, I guess they didn't think I was being, I don't know. I think they just kind of fob people off sometimes. So let's see, Michael's guides. What do you want to share with him through the use of this particular deck? Is there a message that you would like him to have and be aware of and keep in mind? And this odd little octagon shaped deck is called, well, just Trish James Oracle. Okay, I don't know. Looks like this. For Michael, from the guides. Okay, let's see what we get. mind, body, spirit, and balance. So they are talking about the balance on all levels of being your health, your emotional well being, your mental well being, your physical well being. There is an accent on balancing that and being more aware, not ignoring, not feeling well. Now I've got a dog barking. I don't think that they walk that dog enough. Acceptance with change. Okay. So be open to change and expansion and connecting where the body, mind, spirit energy is and balancing it. So maybe accepting changes that you need to make in these different levels, new things. Just feels like it's nice. This feels good. This is like it feels to me almost like you're expanding your lungs capacity, but it's not just your lungs or your physical lungs. It's mind, body, spirit balance. And there's a focus on nutrition change. So we know there is something about diet, maybe being mindful of foods that don't agree with you or that are actually helpful to you in the way of um, like let's say lentils. Like I have to do this for healing. I have to have a certain diet that's high in protein, to give my body that extra boost, and low in I can't eat a lot of fat, but it's like I eat cottage cheese and lean meats, this kind of thing. Whatever that your body responds to, it's like figuring that out. And maybe now's the time where you're going to be doing that, especially with the nutritional change. And I feel like I want to draw one more here. Hmm. There's something around speech, filtered speech, but there's blocks. Filter some kind of maybe not feeling like you can express yourself or filtering your speech, but the block aspect around the throat. Note the colors of these cards. Like this is the throat chakra. And here, where the nutrition change was concerned, we have the solar plexus chakra. Okay. Let me see what we get with that filtered speech. Uh, I think it's just more about expressing yourself. So maybe some blocks with that, and maybe being willing to observe that, how you speak and relate. A lot of times we can hold back. We've picked up patterns from where we've grown up and, how we respond to other people. And I think that there's sometimes we have to let certain things go. I know I've had to, and learn how to speak up for yourself or work through these blocks. We also get money balance. Okay. And that is connected to the speech. If there's issues about speaking about money that are difficult for you, maybe that's what you also would be working on, and working on balancing finance as well. It's really like balancing the body, balancing your space, balancing your mind and your finances so that you're lowering your stress level when you can do that. Just kind of organizing and opening things up. And so I feel like there's a little block maybe around something. Does this make any sense? Uh, where finances are concerned, maybe there's a little block where you feel like being able to express yourself openly. Oh my God, communication balance. Learning how to speak your truth. not always be apologetic and having to. I feel like maybe the feeling that I'm getting with the communication and the filtered speech, it's like the feeling that you get when you have to walk on eggshells around someone. And if you did that growing up like I did, you can find yourself doing it as an adult. And if you can catch yourself doing that and change it, all the better, where you have more confidence and communicating what you need to say for yourself. A little bit of the don't be a doormat energy. Yes, work and fun. Again, balance. Being mindful of not going to one extreme or another. There's so many things here that talk about balance and about nutrition, and especially about being able to express yourself uh, more freely, uh, money balance, communicational balance, nutritional change. It's like a spiritual, physical glow up. It's all those things. And it's connected to some unbalanced chakras. So there could be issues with the material. It could be like sometimes we have the fear of not having enough, especially if we've had family that have grown up not having a lot. It kind of gets passed on as an imprint. We can have trouble with money, handling it. Um, I know I've had that issue. I'm working on it still. And there is being able to say what you want, I think, and say what you need to say. And I just feel like you're holding back somehow. And then you had that communications card that comes up and says you need to be able to say what you need to say, and not feel like you got to walk on eggshells. And if somebody else has an issue with it, let them work it out. um, you need to work on the balance issues of, okay, doing work, but also making sure that you're not going one extreme or another, that there is balance, and kind of like taking care of your body and it as a vessel for your spirit and taking care of your spirit, all levels of being. Not exactly small things. And there's changes coming. And you're going to be working, I think, on those unbalanced areas where any nutritional issues are, where financial issues are, where speaking with courage and from a place of confidence is concerned, especially around perhaps money um, changes. Is it money changes? Let me just see that exact. Money balance, money balance, communication balance, confidence. Talking about, then you get this new confidence. I think you're going to be doing some personal tune up work and it will result in more real, true confidence, Michael. Okay. And just enjoy, sometimes in order to enjoy this life, we have to turn off the politics on the YouTube or whatever that we're watching too much of. I know I've had to do it. And go for, if you can ride a bike, go for a bike ride, go for, I don't know, whatever, sitting out on the patio, whatever you can do, so that it's not clogging your ability to find joy, even in amongst this tyranny that we are living through. We will get through it, but our job is to work on ourselves and make our light shine bright. And Michael, you doing that work on yourself and me doing my work and everyone else doing their work on themselves, we bring more light to this planet during this darkness. So it is very meaningful and it will bring you positive things where you will have not just fake it till you make it confidence, but real confidence of I speak what I say. I'm over couching my words for someone else's benefit kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Are we going to lose our democracy? I think we come close. I do think we come close, but I think will keep it by the bare of our chinny chin chins. I really do. But just be aware of that. It's a white knuckle ride, like my dream showed us, is a white knuckle ride. And I think that once Trump's time is over, I think you're going to see some big changes with this tyranny on the planet where their power begins to shift. There's something about that, and we'll talk about that I'll dedicate another live to talking just about that. Maybe we'll do that next Sunday. Well, we'll look at that. But you know what I do know is that I was shown that we will move through darkness to light. Okay. We know we're still in that darkness, but know that we each day truly, truly brings us closer and closer to getting through hell to the light. In the dream I had, where right before COVID, I was trying to wake people up, and I, unfortunately, due to the car accident I was in when I was 17, I can't run anymore, but can't walk. But in the dream I had, I was running, and I was saying, "Wake up, wake up!" And there were some people that wanted to party, and they weren't wanting to, all that. But then there were people that were joining me. And so what we need to awaken to is light and to embrace light, not to be of the world, you know, not be all con- wrapped up with money and the temporary things. And you know what? If you're not doing that, you're doing good. And just know that being a decent human right now amounts to a lot. A lot. I'm not kidding. All right. But I don't want you all to to be worried sick. I know that you're getting up in the middle of the night and probably having a little mini panic attack or full on ones like I am. But the truth of the matter is, I'm shown that we will get through it. But we have to stay. It's pulling us closer to spirit. It's pulling us closer toward being a brighter lantern and being a vessel of light upon this dark earth. And that means more than we can comprehend right now. I can't even find the right words for it, but that's what I have been getting. We will make it through. But yes, folks, it's going to be one scary ride. Know that. And sometimes my guides let me know that despite how scary and crap Ola it is, there's a purpose. And it will bring change. And it's rocky and it's tough, but it opens the doorway for better things for this country that we've needed for a long time. And that helps me to, and then not listening or allowing DJT to have more of my energy, than I want to give, because I can't allow somebody like that to make me ill. It's not going to help America better if I'm overwhelmed. There's certain things like to a point, once you've made all the phone calls and you've marched and you've done what you can do, then you have to let it go and give it over to God, so to speak, and let the universe take the flow. And we have to value our own sanity enough that screw that guy. I'm not giving him one more moment of allowing him to rob me of my well-being, my sanity, etc. I'm tired of him having us in a place of fear all the time. Don't allow it. Just say, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to get through each day as I can. and keep drawing the light through. And that's what I'm doing. And that is the best that we can do, each one of us, along with the political activities that we can do to resist. And then you got to let it go. And that's so hard because we feel like, well, if I'm not constantly doing something, then either I'm not doing enough, or we get kind of obsessive where we think it's not going to, if I don't do this, then we'll lose our democracy. We can get in a weird place after a while. That's not the case. Do what you can do and then let it go and ask the divine to help us all to shine our light and overcome this darkness. And then we have to open up, and it's hard because we have to be patient, bear this cross and get through it, and we will. My accident wasn't a lot of fun, and I went through hell, and I'm still going through hell. But you know what? It's getting better. And there's things better that I've come to understand now. And much the same with this. This is a pain. This is unpleasant. But we signed up to be here, y'all, because we have the energy. I think the people, and there's more of us that shine the light than don't, that we want positivity, that we want decency, and just shine that light. Because sometimes that's the strongest thing that you can do, is the simplest. Now, let's see. Excuse me. The job. Wait a minute, Lord Christine, did I read for you earlier? I can't go. No, all right. There we go. All right, and thank you, Liz, for the super sticker. All right. And then I'm going to pull a card as Gina requested, which is super for everybody for this week. That'll be fun. Kind of got the clumped here. Well, let me get a sip. Oh my God, that dog is still barking. You know what? I hate hearing that because I just feel like somebody needs to take that dog for a run down to the beach and let him get his yayas out, They do. They need to get that energy out. Okay. A job, a job, a job, a job. For Lori Christine, let's switch out the energy. And for Lori Christine, a job. Okay. Holy Spirit, do we see a job on the horizon? We're being open, we're being generous. Your timing, we know. Can you please help Lori with the job on her horizon? Line her up, help her to do what she needs to do to help herself, and then help her with what is beyond her skill to take care of. Once again, you get out there and do what you can, and then and the hard thing is giving over then and saying, well, God, I've given it all I got. I'm just going to have to trust, watch, and see which way I'm going to go, I think that all of us after this lifetime are going to have a nice vacation back home in our true home from incarnating again for a while. I think we are going to get a really because I believe we're doing some heavy lifting with this darkness, this contrast, and I'll talk about that more next Sunday on our live. I'd like to devote a live where I talked about that, of the dreams, and just so that people, especially because it's so frightening, the deeper into the darkness we go, and we are going into the core. This winter coming, and spring of next year, that's what I get. I feel like, we've seen some of the craziness come out. Well, it's going to be intense in those seasons as well coming because Trump is going to be losing his position and maybe other things like breathing, his cards are never that good, but he ain't going nowhere till he's accomplished whatever he's here to do. Lori. A job for Lori, please. Is it on? Yes, no. I get the devil. Okay. Now, this can be oppressive, yeah, where things are controlling your direction that feel out of your control. Oppressive, tyranny with the job. Okay. There could be some issues there. All right. Maybe the places too. So, what is this? Some kind of criminality? We don't want Lori having to go sling things she shouldn't. I'm saying that as having a very dark sense of humor. I have a very dark sense of humor to get through as many of you who join me. A lot of us have health issues, and we know that that's our ace, that we use to get through hard times. You do have uh, the take a leap of faith card here with the Fool, and it's connected to balance. Yes, but I think you need to shift out of working out from oppressive, where people are too controlling, where there's a toxic work environment, and maybe where, I don't know, like, how some places you might end up working for, a lot of people might drink to an extreme or do things like that. There's just kind of a toxic environment around work that needs to, like, and you're meant to go off and trust and take a leap of faith that there's a new cycle opening up and you'll get a job, but it's going to be on God's time and things will fall into place with you making your efforts, but you're going to need patience. When we do get cards of temperance, sometimes it takes longer, and often patience is a part of that, um, is needed for things to fall into place because they don't do it overnight. They don't do it quickly. It can take a little longer. But the good news is when I see it, that means there's a new start and there is a new job coming. And I'm going to say, I think it's, you know, definitely important to be aware of the type of environment you'd be working in and who you be working with. If you get bad vibes, that's not a job you need to have. Trust, trust your intuition and take a leap of faith with that. There's the Page of Swords. This is keeping an eye out. This is news coming in where you could hear about places that are working or actually hear back from places you've applied for. Let's see what comes with. Yeah, it will pick up and you will get a job. There's something coming energy wise with these two cards. I like that a lot. And it goes in a better direction. So I do see that coming. Yes, the sun. Yes. And it's on the horizon. So there's some time yet, okay? Be patient. Um, don't fall for schemes about working from home and this kind of stuff. That's another thing. Just, I think, keep going out there and knowing that one of these times you're going to strike it rich, so to speak. You're going to catch the fish, because you get the sun. That's wonderful, and There's warmth. It's like joyous. It lightens up the energy. Then all that stress back here is the past. So, yes, it is on the horizon. Um, and it might even be in another area that's further out, sometimes with this Three of Wands from where you currently live. Sometimes that's a little bit like over maybe the next county or something like that. It could, there could be a little commute, but it looks like it's going to be worth it. Don't just accept some crappy low pay job with toxic, energy for where someone's really controlling or isn't willing to pay what you're worth. The pay's too low, you can't live off of it. Um, take the risk with the Fool and trust. Again, keep going out there and putting your effort. It's going to work out. You will get the call, you'll get activity, and you'll get the job. Yes. But you got to watch out for someone that's dishonest. That's why I'm talking about like any of those, like, yeah, I think you're going to get a sense of it where it's like, yeah, you want to come work with us? Well, there's just something that's going to feel off. And I'm seeing somebody that is not honest, uh, is a bully, and this is not the work environment you want. But you just got to trust going in a different direction, maybe literally another area, even another kind of training or something a little different, and then things open up for you job wise and it balances out. I like those cards for you. And you stay alert and you keep active and you keep aware. You don't just say, oh, I made the effort, that's enough. There's the Emperor, yes, and the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know if a move will be involved or if it's just a shift, but there is a change coming. And this could be a father, husband energy, or this could be working for someone that is older and more established. It feels secure and stable and more positive than the other energy before. Here we have stability, yes. And hopefully not someone trying, if you get a whiff of someone trying to be too controlling and you don't, and they feel shifty, out of there, out of there. Yes, you will definitely. But I think there is some kind of distance, a little bit more of a distance or a different direction movement actually involved, connected to this job. Something like that. So keep me in the loop. My nose is starting to. Okay. Cherry Blossom and then Gina's Place. Okay. For love this year, for long term stable, who do you see coming towards me in love this year for long term stable relationship? Well, let's open it up. Don't limit yourself. Maybe it would come sooner. We could use it, always use this. We'll use the time window of a year, but be open. It could be, might be less, might be a little more. Just keep working on yourself. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to read into Cherry Blossom and then I'll do the group reading for us all this week. Okay, love. A quality love partner, please. Are they on the horizon for Cherry Blossom within a year's time from now? So by next August, will Cherry Blossom have met someone who is stable for a long-term relationship. Is that love relationship in her, in their uh, world manifesting within a year? What did this cherry blossom need to know about that? Let's see what we got. I think a year. This feels like a year to me. Like 360, 360, or 365. It's completion, the cycle. There is the tower. Now, this is, don't panic. There is letting go of a lot of things that need to be let go of, that are not helpful in your life, that you, and it can come unexpected. There could be some shifts there where meeting people are concerned. Okay, well, let's see what else we get with that. I see out there doing dating, getting out there again and again. This is the repeated effort. This could also have things to do with someone's employment. And someone, there's trying to work on feeling more connected, getting, I think, also connecting with people that are more connected. There is something here that is major change. And there's working with intuition. There's things also possibly that have not yet come into play that are significant, that are hidden from us right now. Yeah, there's a block. There's something blocked. What is that? It looks like you're going to have some kind of here where that block gets a reset. Something that you're working on where you feel that you can't connect to other people, or where you feel like it's a struggle to connect, maybe with the people that you've been meeting, and working on communication. Also, your intuition. Look there. This is knowing that there are other options, I think. Yeah, that you don't be too conservative in your thought process of what you can accept. But also don't accept, once again, anyone that doesn't want you to shine your light, to settle for less. You have options. You don't have to do things kind of the tired and true way. This is knowing that there's allowing for other options of meeting people that are a little bit different and maybe not real old school. Does this make sense? Oh, thank you, Michael. We'll definitely be sending you, and you got that energy coming, Lori. Don't worry. You know, just do all that you can. And don't be afraid to ask for help if you need to. A lot of us aren't willing to do that. Um, okay, back to the love thing here. This is about communication and creating balance, like as above, so below, like as there is order, and you know honest communication is important. And there's something here where connecting or getting people that I feel like that you feel like you're plugged in, like they get you and they understand you and you them. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a type of person that you've been picking. I'm not sure. Sometimes our picker is off. Um, but now I do get a masculine energy here with the King of Wands. That would be passionate. And that would be a date. That would be also someone that would be pretty extroverted. Um, I see something there. Let me just see what cards come with him. We get the Chariot. This is movement, someone that's, like I said, got that extroverted energy. And we have Temperance. So, Chariot and Temperance. Yeah, there is a balance. It'll come into balance. Maybe the King of Wands, he might be traveling or just have moved. There is the Chariot, the Temperance. It feels like something is settling after movement. You know, he might, that just occurred to me, he could be somebody that's on electronic, um, what do you call, like communications? Probably the 10, I don't know, because I don't use those things, but like the dating apps and stuff, you might meet him through that. Yeah, there's recognition here. This is success and clarity. So I think within a year you will meet someone. I do think there's some major changes that are going to happen now. And where you, especially where you realize that you don't maybe want somebody that is too much of a too predictable, maybe, maybe a little dull. You don't, necessarily want that. You need to have somebody that's not too rigid, somebody that's got a little more flexibility. And you're getting that message here as well, that open up, extend, and know that you don't have to just say, well, this is the first person that's shown an interest in me. I got to try and make this work. No, you can go and have fun, but if that person is not showing you the respect that they should, basically, that you show them, uh but I do see someone coming, a male there, and that looks good. And it does look like it could be within that year. You do have the completion card with the world, but there's big changes, big shifts, and it can be kind of startling to go through that. So just know that if you go through a little bit of some rough changes there, it's all good. It is to help you to get rid of and throw out outdated ideas and notions that you may not even know that you have, or that you see that someone else has. Once again, it takes a while to see through the best impression that people try and give us when they first meet us. So I think you will end up with someone. I do think that it could be a year, give or take a little bit. That looked kind of close to that sense of a year with the world card for you. But don't anyone settle for someone that doesn't treat you well. I don't care how you identify. Nobody should treat anyone else other than how they want to be treated themselves. Okay, now we're going to go for the everybody's week. All right. Let's see what we'll do. Let's see, which deck do I want to use? Which deck do I want to use? Hmm. Hmm. There's a few different ones. Let's see. Maybe this one. Hmm. Okay. I think I'll just try with the regular. No, no, no. All right. I'm going to go with the Starry Beginnings and see what we get. Somehow I feel like this one might be the right one. All right. For our week. Okay, this is for anyone that watches this video, anyone here now, this week, this coming week. Oh my goodness, it's hot in here now. It's humid. Okay, so that will be August 4th, the week of August 4th. What is our group, our pod, our spiritual pod advice for us all for this week? And let's just take this information, whatever they give it to us, and set it in that shelf of the mind and see if it applies or tops up or makes any sense. Let's see what we get. And if not, this week it could be give or take a little. Be flexible. Be like the willow. Seriously. If you're too rigid and you're too expectatious and too fixed, you'll snap. You need to have, like bamboo, you need to have a little flexibility there to sway with the breeze a little bit. All right, what are we going to get for this week? This is for every. I feel like I need to cut the deck. That'll be that. And then next Sunday we'll talk all about this tyranny and our democracy. And we'll share dreams, and anyone that has that can do that, and I'll share what I've got. Okay. There we go. It is safe to let go. You are surrounded by love. We do need to let go of stuff. I've been working on that, like letting go of fears of, we got to remember that no matter what, at the end of the day, we're going to be okay, one way or another. We're eternal energy. And we only can go to after this place, as long as we've kind of gotten our work up, we're going to be going to a much back home where there is such satisfaction, there is perfection, there's rest, etc. We're here doing our PhDs, but it's safe to let go. It's safe to take that risk of trusting God, connecting with God, the divine, whatever word, thought, way that you identify. It says dream big. And it says dream with your heart. With your heart. What moves you? Dream with your heart. And dream big. It is safe to let go. You are surrounded by love. And one thing that I go back to, and I'll share it with you, is a dream that I had where I flew up and I joined hands with a group of a variety of different people, different nationalities, so on and so forth, all around the planet of Earth. And I felt the oneness. Once I took the hand either side of me, there was never any sense of I'm not good enough. And see, I've always been a loner, so I've always felt like I'm on the outside looking in. So that was a revelation to feel like accepted. And then the power, it was this, like, as this collective power surge was incredible. So, and the love was unconditional, and it went through me like electricity. And I know if you haven't had that experience, all I can say is if you don't think that you're loved, you're wrong. You're surrounded by love. Even though you might not believe it, I love you. I may not know you, but trust me, I'm a real softie. I do. Um, I care. And I know that other people are like me. They care too. And you just got to trust and believe that we're there. Embrace the dark, all right? Shine your light on this earth. What was I telling y'all about us during this time of darkness? We need to, as simple as it is, shine our light. Whatever way we can. One day it might be, hey, we're helping out at a food bank. Next time we might be giving a neighbor a lift to someplace or whatever, you know? And so take, and when they say embrace the dark, it's just meaning don't be afraid of it. This darkness. It's easy to say, but see it as a challenge to shine your light, to be a decent person when there's clearly a lot of folks that don't believe in doing that right now. You are worthy. You are worthy. You don't need to be perfect. You will not be perfect on this earth. You're perfectly imperfect. And God loves you. I love you truthfully. And you're fine. Just keep doing the best you can. That's what we're all doing here. And allow yourself to love yourself. Think of, if you can't give yourself love as an adult, think of yourself as a child. See yourself back as you were when you were a child. You aim for what you want and believe in yourself. Again, take a chance, hold to the light, let it shine. You are worthy. Dream big, dream with your heart. It's safe to let go of uncertainties and fears. You do have love around you. Sometimes you don't realize it until you let go of the side of the swimming pool and you paddle out, you know, and there's somebody right next to you to help you float along. You have to kind of let go. And you have a sensitive antenna. Sensitive people collect the emotions of others. Mm-hmm. Don't get drained. Okay. Know your worth. That's been a big message today. Uh, don't be afraid of the challenges that we're having right now, of this awful darkness. It is a chance for you and I to shine our light as decent people in the simplest of ways. It doesn't have to be complicated, and just be decent, and continue our work to resist the tyranny. It's safe to let go. You're surrounded by love. And here's the last one: enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. This life is short. And if you can find joys in this darkness, that is part of taking your power back. Even though it doesn't seem like it, it's huge to find the joy in the simplest of things, such as the scent of a flower, you know, sunset, the moonlight, the starlight, and just allowing your heart to open up despite the darkness, especially because there is such darkness. We have to open our hearts. And to me, when I read that, embrace the darkness, I felt like it's like take that sensitive love that we have, that softness that we have, that compassion, that's light, and use it in the world in a variety of different ways. And it doesn't need to be complicated, you know? It's somebody is short 50 cents at the store or a dollar. If you've got that, help them out. You know, it's simple things that end up meaning more than we realize. All right. So that's a lot for this week. So we need to trust that we're loved. We need to let go of the side of the swimming pool and doggy paddle out a little bit, reach out, take the hand if we need a little help, and trust God, the divine, that we're going to have others around us that can help us. All we got to do is seek it, like I did. I stuck my hands up, and they took them, my hands, in the dream. I sought that help. Take the action, make the action this week, and especially because the world is dark right now, shine that light. Shine that light. You know, Open your heart. Watch that. A lot of times they would say, like, don't allow your heart to get hard, where life becomes so you get numb. And sometimes it's hard, right? Because it's just so dark here. And that's when you need to watch some puppy videos, some kitten videos, seriously, because it will open up that heart again. Maybe some baby videos, I don't know, whatever your thing is, or nature, and get away from the toxicity and, you know, ignite your light again. Okay? And that's what we got to do this week. All right? All right, guys. You take care. And I will set up the next live, well, where we will talk about our democracy and the world and these changes that are going on. All right? Thank you so much for joining me. And I appreciate you. I hope that you can love yourself and know that you're worth it and you don't have to be perfect. Bye. See you next week.